some crafty cuts can result in a myriad of background options for you. And I'm going to show you some examples now. So this is example number 1 of how this background design is laid out. And here is another way that you can lay these same pieces out in a different style. So you can see that I've got the background pieces laid out slightly different to how they are here. Here it's more of a stripe design. And then, for example, there's even more options. The options are almost endless. So you can lay out these background pieces in so many different ways. And I'm going to teach you now how to do this. So first of all, what you need is your 12-inch trimmer. You'll need some repositionable tape runner, and you'll need 2 sheets of paper. The sheet of paper you're going to use that will be your feature, you will want to make sure that you have a contrasting design on the back. I also find that patterns that are a bit more subtle work well. Avoid stripes if you can. I think stripes probably are a bit less desirable once you start piecing all the pieces together. So you then will also need one other sheet to place all your pieces onto afterwards. So your first cut on your first sheet of paper is going to be at 1 inch. So I've lined that up with the measurement on the short ruler side of the trimmer. And what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to place it over here. And then what I'm going to do is with this sheet of paper, I'm going to spin it around so that I can then take my cut side to the 2-inch mark here. And make sure it's really nice and straight. Make sure it is very much lined up with that grid line there. It's very important to try and keep the cuts straight. So that piece goes there. And if you want, you can actually begin to start flipping over every second piece. It just saves a little time. We all love efficient scrapbooking. Keep going at the 2-inch cuts until all you have left is a 1-inch strip. And then we have the 1-inch strip left at the end. Oh. Goes like so. All right, so we have all our pieces there. Then you want a piece of paper to adhere them onto. I find something that is sort of a similar color range helps. And then you're going to want your repositionable tape runner. And to be a little bit more efficient, you can apply your tape runner to all of your pieces right away. So some at the top, you'll want to be relatively generous. All right, so now we move on to the process of adhering all of these pieces down to this paper. So sticky side down, of course. We want to make sure that it's nicely aligned with the edge of the paper and top and bottom as well. We just go through the process of adhering everything right down. This is going to look great in this green. Okay, last piece, adhering down. Yeah, I think I might have to just nudge everything just a little bit closer together. Okay, and now this is where the magic begins. So we're going to want to take the sheet of paper that we have our stripes on. We're going to cut it at 6 inches. And then again across by 6 inches. So we're cutting it into quarters. So you'll need your guide arm out. You'll want to align that up with the 6-inch mark there. And give that a nice firm trim. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces now. So now we're going to make sure that we turn that around and trim 6 inches there. And 6 inches on this piece. So here we have all of our quarters, and now we're just going to make sure that everything is adhered down at the ends. That is my, there we go. So that's all adhered nicely at the ends. because what we're going to do now is we're going to cut on the diagonal. So we're going to go from the top corner, the top outside corner, to the inside corner on each piece. So we want to go from the top to the inside, from the top to the inside, and here again from the top to the inside. So we're going to start that process now, which takes a little bit of concentration. I like to hold it on the corners that are going to be aligned to be cut. And how we align this is you'll have the dashed line where your cutting mark is. So you can align the corners with that dashed line. And then another alignment tool that you can use with the 12-inch trimmer is the sight line guides. So you can grab those down from the top and from the bottom of your trimmer guide. And then the black line that is in the center of those, position them over the ends of your corners to make sure that you're going to cut in the right spot. So those sightline guides indicate exactly where the blade is going to cut. So now I can move my trimmer blade along there and I'll pop it back into position. So I need to cut from here to here on this one, top outside edge to the middle inside corner. So we're almost up to the fun part of how to rearrange our design. I'm going to use a little sheet of paper. So it's 3 sheets of paper with this one. And so what I want to do now is just have some fun with how I'm going to rearrange this. So you can see here that I have the original stripe design going on, but then I can do some things like swap some pieces around, like so. Swap that from side to side, swap that from side to side, and that's one option of how I could adhere everything down like that. There's just so many different options, but today what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap sides there. I'm going to bring these around to the bottom to create like a square. So that's how I'm going to arrange my pieces today. So it's like a mirror image square kind of geometric pattern on my background. So I'm going to get that all adhered down to my backing sheet. You just have to start somewhere, really. This piece here was as good as any. But as you can see, you can end up with just so many different options for how you lay out this background. It's just really quite fun. So I've got some cardstock here that I'm going to trim up for my photos, and I find that with both of these pages that I have completed, I have found personally that 2 4-inch photos and 1 larger photo, which happens to be 5.5 by 4 inches here. And I have my photos right here that I'm going to trim up and add to this page. So I like it at 5.5. And then these ones at 4 inches. So now I'll trim up my my mats. So I'm going to do these ones at 4.25 inches here, and another 4.25 for my last mat. And then I'll trim 2 at 4.25 for these 2. So they're ready to go. And then this one was 5.5 wide, so this one needs to be 5 3/4. Okay, so now we adhere these photos down. I'm using just regular tape runner, just a little bit in each corner. Adhere them on. Excellent, it's all coming together as you can see. So now I just have to figure out where I want to position all my photos. There we go, that's that one. So it can look very different from the last, you know, depending on what paper you use, depending on the arrangement of your pieces in the background. So many different options to choose from with this clever cut technique that I've shown you here today. So hopefully you enjoy that and it helps you create lots of fantastic looking pages quickly and easily that look really clever, but with an inside secret of how it's done. All right, thank you everyone, and happy scrapbooking. Bye-bye.